Some adventures don't start with a map. They start with a feeling. A quiet pull to somewhere new, to breathe a little deeper and to see the world with your own eyes. For us, life has become about the simple things. The places we go, the people we love, and the memories we make along the way. So we travel in our little home on wheels whenever we can, chasing the quiet roads, wild coastlines, and those moments that remind you why it's worth stepping outside your routine. This isn't about rushing to the next destination. It's about wandering slowly, finding meaning in the in-between, and letting the journey shape us. This is Roads Beyond the Map, where every mile tells a story and every moment matters. So we're just going to go for it. So this little Bluetti power station has done us proud since we got this. It really has been a game changer. And Rose and I said from the start that when it came to electrical systems, we wanted one as simple as possible. Not only did we not want to do the full wiring of a typical solar system setup that you would have in a van, but we also wanted the ability to take our power with us. So having a power station meant that we could obviously take it out of the van and use it outside when we were camping somewhere, or bring it into the house and use it, and just have a really mobile, flexible system. And one that was simple to install as well. We're not electricians, so we don't really want something that was too technical. And yeah, it has done a fantastic job, and I'm pretty sure it will continue to do a really good job for us as well. We also have in our van a diesel heater, and the van build has been on a budget, and we bought one of the cheap Chinese diesel heaters, so I can't vouch whether this is the same for all diesel heaters. But what I will say is the current setup of the Bluetti or a power station and the cheap Chinese diesel heater, when you get to really cold temperatures, i.e. anything below -5, we discovered a bit of a flaw, and it's quite a serious flaw. So the flaw consists of this. There are two phases for the diesel heater. One is its startup phase, and the second is its running phase. Now, once they are in running mode, the draw of power is quite consistent and it's a lot lower. When they're going through startup phase and the glow plugs are heating up, etc., there is a heavier draw. And all batteries of any kind don't like cold weather. And when it's really cold, i.e. more than -5, we found that the additional draw that the heater had on the power station on the battery created a dip steep enough in the power station for the power station to think that it was an overcharge. And that made it kick in its defense mechanism, and for a split second it would shut the power. The diesel heater, on registering no power for a split second, cuts off. So what we were seeing was we'd turn the heater on, it would start powering up, and just as it started to really kick up before it would properly start firing up, was the heater would then just cut out again. So fire up, cut out. We'd switch it back on again, it would seem to be on fine, it would start powering up, and then it would just drop straight back out again. And it had me scratching my head quite a while until I figured out that it was the power station that was just, its safety mechanism was kicking in as soon as it registered the dip in amps. So what we did for the rest of the trip in Scotland, because we continued to remain stuck in this winter storm and we had a lot of cold temperatures, we had to temporarily, whenever we fired up the heater, we had to have the engine running on the van, because the alternator is connected to our power station, because this is how we charge the power station when we're on the road. And having it hooked up and running, it actually fired up the heater, but because it wasn't going to do it without that. But that cannot remain that way, so we need a long-term fix, somewhere where we continue to use the power station because we really like the flexibility and usage of having a power station, and having our Chinese diesel heater in cold temperatures, because that's when you're going to need it the most, right? So this basically is a setup that we're putting in place to be able to get over the issue of the power station cutting out, and also it actually gives us more storage that we were going to look at doing in the future anyway, but cheaper than we were originally going to do, which it helps even more because we wanted to do our van build as much as a budget build as possible. So currently we have a switch panel on the wall of our van with multiple switches on it that turn on the lights, we turn on for the pump, for the water pump, or it turns on the heater, whatever. And they all come out from the DC output, The wire goes out from there, goes to our switch panel, and everything runs off of there. We will still have the DC output in use going to a switch panel, but what we're going to do instead now, or as well now, is from one of the AC sockets, the standard AC plug sockets, we're going to be running this Victron smart charger. And we wanted the smart charger because we wanted to be able to use the app on our phone as well to be able to monitor the status of the battery and the charging and be able to see remotely how it's going on. And then from the smart charger, that will be charging a leisure battery, which eventually will probably be 3 leisure batteries. Now I said this would make a cheaper storage solution for us because initially we were going to get 2 or 3 of the Bluetti extender batteries, but they're about 300 quid a pop. Whereas this XI 80 amp battery, which is more than enough for what we're going to need, is £108. We got this one currently off of Amazon, and I'll leave in the description all the details of the equipment that we're using here. So we will still have our Bluetti charged to the alternator via the Bluetti charger one, which will keep the Bluetti charged up. From that, we have the charger going to the leisure battery. So I've set up a dummy setup here just to show you the basics of it. So the charger is charging the leisure battery, and then the leisure battery will go to a fuse box. From this fuse box, we will then be connected to our diesel heater. And the reason being that when the diesel heater powers up, it will be drawing directly from the battery and not from the power station. Because it's drawing from the battery, the power station won't detect any surge, so it won't kick out and it will just keep running fine. And because we're using that from the AC socket on the power station, and we're still using the DC output to run other things like LED lighting and stuff, etc., we've basically got 2 sources, and we could still add an extender battery to the Bluetti if we want, so there's extra storage for that side, and then we've got the leisure batteries as another setup. So it's really still a very simple setup. So you literally have a power station to a charger, which is charging the battery, which then goes to the fuse box and branches out to everything. And what I have here as an example is just a USB socket, which is currently charging my phone. And that's it. And we can just add batteries on there if we want in power, or 2 or 3 batteries. And I think we're probably going to put 3 batteries in the back. And then we'll have, the Bluetti, I think, because it's the AC 180, so it's 1800 watts, I think it charges up, it can boost up to 2300 watts. We have a small air fryer that we're going to use in the van that's 1300 watts. So I think we'll have the Bluetti powering our air fryer and any sort of the larger kitchen appliances that we're going to use in there, because that'll handle it better. And then the battery system, the leisure battery system, will do all our lighting and USB sockets and everything else. Because it will be able to deal with that a lot better. So we'll have 2 lines of output from the one power station, and we can still take our Bluetti out, just unplug, pull it out, take it outside if we want to use it outside and play music outside with stuff, or we can take it in the house, we can still move it around if we want to charge it. And then let's not forget, when we do install solar panels on the roof of the van, we can still just plug directly into the power station and have solar charging as well. Yeah, so dead simple really. I think that's quite an easy fix. And I'll show you a quick footage now of how I'm going to install it in the van. See you soon, guys. So our current electrical setup, we have a control panel set up inside one of these overhead storage compartments, and that runs from a lead from the back of the control panel down to the Bluetti power station, which currently plugs into the cigarette lighter style switch for the DC output. And the cheap Chinese diesel heater that we use is switched on at that control panel. Now, as we explained before, the biggest issue we had was having the diesel heater powered directly from the Bluetti, was when it was really cold, it was causing an issue, and there was too much of a draw on the power station, and it was automatically shutting off quickly to protect itself from the power surge, and that meant the heater was then cutting off as well. So we wanted to change the solution. And as I showed you before, the solution that we were going to be putting in place now was to actually put a battery between the power station and the diesel heater, and I'm actually going to configure it so that the diesel heater draws from this instead of drawing from the power station directly. So we have configured in place now the leisure battery, which is hooked directly up to the Victron smart charger that I showed you before, and then this is wired up to a fuse panel, and the fuse panel will now have the diesel heater directly wired into that. And so whenever we turn on the diesel heater, it will draw through the battery instead of drawing from the power station. And then the power station is still the main part of the circuit, because the power station still has the wiring through the Bluetti Charger 1, so we can charge it up from the alternator of the van, keeps the power station charged up, and then this charger is plugged directly into the AC socket in our power station, so that it's constantly charging our leisure battery through the Bluetti. So we can still monitor through the Bluetti, and we can monitor through the Bluetooth connection on the Victron charger here as well. And of course it means we've now doubled up our storage space for our battery power as well. We will be changing this battery over shortly to one of the batteries that we saw at the NEC. I'll just show you a quick clip of that now.
Right, so we've got the 3 different sorts. The Eco one, right, is it doesn't have a heating mat in it.
So is that to improve like in the winter and stuff?
What it is lithium ion cells don't like being charged below 0.
Right.
Right. They work perfectly okay, but if you try to charge them, you know, so if you think you're going to be in less than 0 where you're going to put the battery, you're better off having a standard range which has got a heater built into it.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder what they do.
Yeah. The other, the Gen 2, they're exactly the same cells, but they've got a lot of communication protocols. This one's a Gen 2, look, and it's got all the ports on it, so for connecting into parallel, and it's got a CAN bus going up to whatever you want it to go to.
And
Victron and whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we use them. So if we connect it parallel, is there a limit on how many of these you can connect parallel?
Well, that's why we brought these out. So if you've got, like, people are now putting like 4 or 5 of these batteries in parallel.
Wow.
And the battery management system all talk to each other.
Yeah.
So that makes it a bit better for balancing it out. But I mean, you can put them all in parallel.
Right. Okay. And also for storage capacity, this is only an 80 amp hour, so we were looking at a 300 amp hour battery. So you know, we'd be looking at nearly 4 of these to give us the same amperage, and obviously that's going to take up a lot more space, whereas we can just have the one battery in with 300 amp hours to give us the same capacity, but within a smaller battery storage space. Additional upgrades that we're doing to the van at the moment is we're starting to complete the actual garage space, because during our last trip in Scotland we nearly ended up having a bit of a disaster, because this fuel container here for the diesel heater, and if you can see at the back there, the fuel pump and the fuel filter and fuel lines and everything, they were all exposed in the main garage space here. So I've just put this sidewall up. There's going to be another sidewall going up shortly that's going to be closing off all the electrical items here in the space here, and then we'll be building out a storage solution in the back area here, which will block off the diesel heater and give us a better working space for storage. Rose's idea, and I think it's a good one, is to actually have something pull out from here, so we'll have some runners on the floor, I think, and we'll be able to pull the storage out so we can get to it better, and we'll be able to stack it up. But yeah, the issue we had with not having this wall in place was the items like the toolbox and stuff we had in the back on some of the winding narrow roads, they shifted over and basically slammed into the fuel filter, splitting it wide open, and we ended up having diesel leaking into the van. Luckily we spotted it fairly soon, and luckily it wasn't completely smashed, it was just cracked, so it was leaking, because otherwise it would have just been pouring out everywhere. So I had to do a quick fix of just turning the fuel tank upside down to cut off the supply, because there isn't actually a shut off in the fuel line either, which is something else I'm going to add. I don't understand why, but yeah, if there's an issue with it, there's no way of shutting the fuel off from the tank to the diesel heater. So yeah, that'll be the next step. Now, we did actually mention to you that another upgrade we'll be making to the van is going to be the tyres. Now, we're actually going to be picking those up on Monday in a couple of days' time. Well, pick up, they're going to be fitted for us. So we've actually gone with some Bridgestone all-terrain tyres. The reason we've gone for those is at £160 a tyre. It's actually really good value. Bridgestone, I mean, is a good branded name. £160 for an all-terrain tyre. They're a grade A for stopping distance in the wet, which is the best grade that you can get. They've got really good stats when it comes to the noise on the road. So for an all-terrain tyre, you sometimes get a lot of noise when you're driving down the road on general tarmac, etc. But they're actually really good again. And they're very good for snow and gravel and off-road, which is going to be very useful in our upcoming trip. So yeah, a couple of days' time, these will be completely changed. So Rose and I are currently just in the middle of redoing all the electrics now that we've got that new power setup in place. We're going to take out the current control panel, move it over so it all wires up through the battery rather than straight from the Bluetti power station. And then we're finally going to put in a permanent wall at the back of the garage space, where our bed meets the kitchen area and dining area really, just so we can finally tidy that up and yeah, have a proper finished garage space. But that will be in next week's video. You'll see that all done and we'll have all the wiring hopefully in place, and hopefully we'll even have the cupboards up that we're actually going to have, because the existing ones we got, after trying them out, we decided that they were a bit too big, a bit too bulky, especially over the bed space. It just, well, for a start, every time I go in and out of bed I end up hitting my back or hitting my head on them, so that wasn't very good going forward. So yeah, we're going to be changing the cupboards as well. Quite a lot of aesthetics starting to happen to the van now, as well as some more practical changes to make it more future-proof for the long-term trips. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. As always, I hope you really enjoyed. If you do like watching our videos, please give us a big thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, have a beautiful day.